Hello all and welcome to one of Ms. Ross's several different classes. Instead of making a video for all 5 different classes that I'm going to be teaching when 90% of what you're going to be doing is going to look really similar, I'm going to create one video for all of you. So if I say something that is specific to calculus versus intro to algebra, just make sure, and I'll make sure to try to be as specific as possible. So what you're going to be looking at, if you're following along on some guided notes or if you're looking at the handout from home, it's going to say prepare for, and here it's going to be whatever class you're in. So that might be intro to algebra, pre-calculus, intro to calculus, or AP Calculus 2. So make sure you're looking at that. And this is what your notes are going to look like for when we actually are doing content, when you're learning new ideas, is you'll have the objective, the thing that you're going to be working on that lesson. And then you'll have the homework. This will usually be from the textbook, maybe a worksheet. Today's homework is just to sign up for a one-on-one meeting this week. One of my goals is to get to have a couple minutes at least to talk with each and every one of you this week. There are plenty of slots to make available, but if they don't line up, please send me an email or send me a comment and I can help you figure that out. Again, if you're looking at this and you're saying, I have no idea what that means, go to course materials and watch the instructions and follow along in the video if you want that kind of explanation for how to set up a one-on-one meeting. In today's video, we're just going to be talking about the classwork component of this distance learning. Now, classwork, you're going to have 3 different kinds of assignments that you'll see, and the first one that you're going to do every day is your check-in. Most of you are going to be doing this on quizzes right here, which you should have joined on Google Classroom. For my AP class, this is going to be AP Classroom. Now, your check-in is just a daily short quiz. It's going to ask you questions that'll either set you up for remembering something you need for the day's lesson, or it gives me information on how well you might have learned something from the last few days. It's also going to be the major source of extra credit, where if you're completing them, you'll earn some extra credit towards your grade. The only way to lose points on this is if you don't do it at all and you're not marked absent for some reason in Infinite Campus. These are available for one day. They're going to be available starting at 7:30 to 11:45. And again, there's no penalty if it's incomplete. If you're absent, you'll only lose points if you don't complete this assignment that will appear in Google Classroom every day. So once you've done the check-in, it'll let you know if answers are right or wrong as you're going. On quizzes on AP Classroom, you'll know the next day. And no matter what the answers and how to solve them, especially if there are some issues, I will post the next morning. Now, when you're working on materials for this class, these are all the things you should have with you at home, and then whatever method you're using to take notes. So for Intro to Algebra, you're going to have a guided notes packet. If you don't have one, you'll have told me that in this first day's check-in, so I'll know that. I'll make sure you get one. For everyone else, you either have access to notes on Google Classroom or you'll be taking your own notes from video, depending on the class. You'll be able to see what that is on your essentials document and on your weekly plan. And so these are all the things that you would have. And then you'll also have your textbook, and that's of course going to be different for every class. If you don't have any of these things, you'll have already let me know on this Monday check-in, so I'll be able to help you figure that out, whichever ones you don't have. So the next 2 classwork things that you're going to have, you'll be taking notes every day, except Wednesdays, which will be work days that we'll talk about on Wednesday. I'll make a video for that. And then the last day of the week, usually Friday, when you'll have your quiz, you'll find a video on that on the quiz day assignment. But every day that you have notes, you're going to have homework. And homework's going to be broken up into 2 categories. The first one is just your daily practice. And it's going to be an assignment from the textbook, again, or maybe a worksheet. You're going to complete this in your homework notebooks. And once you've completed it, you're going to check your answers in the back of the book. So when you're doing your homework in your notebook, the way I expect to see it done is you want to write the problem and then beneath that problem, show all the work and then box your correct answer. Some of you have this habit of, you put number 1 here, you put your answer, and then there's a whole mess of work for every single problem over here. You're not going to get full credit for that because you can't understand it 2 days later and I can't understand it now. So you'll want to make sure that you're doing nice organized work. Numbering the problem is great, and then you want to write the problem from the book. So let's say 3x plus 1 equals 10, and then solve directly beneath it, boxing your final answer, which in this case would be x equals 3, before starting the next problem. If you're not sure exactly what I mean by organized work, you can find an exemplar from a former student attached to this assignment. Now, the way that homework shows up in your schedule is that it starts with 2 numbers, and this corresponds to the chapter, that's the first number, and then the section, which is the second. So this would be chapter 1, section 2 homework, 9 through 17 odd, from the problems, which would be 9, 11, 13, 15, and 17. Now, for a lot of assignments, you are going to have the one problem that you turn in, because I'm not necessarily interested in seeing all of your homework. I'm going to, especially because I don't expect everyone to complete every single problem I assign on the exact same day. I want you to be working for your mandated amount of math time, maybe a little bit over if it's something that you really feel that you need to practice. But if you're working for half an hour and you haven't finished all the assigned problems from that day, that's fine. Feel free to stop. You can catch up on Wednesdays. I'm only going to collect the presentation problem each day. I might ask you to show me your homework notebook at some point later on during the end of the unit time. But each day you're just going to turn in the presentation problem. And the presentation problem is going to be an even number at the front of the assignment like this. So this is still a chapter 1, section 2 assignment, but 36 is the presentation problem. You're going to turn that in on Google Classroom by taking a picture of it. Make sure that in your picture you are showing all the work, because as you'll notice over here, that's 40% of your grade, and the organization of that work. If you're not sure how to take a good picture, please do find one of the videos. I know that Miss Johnson, the art teacher, has made one. I'll try to post one as soon as I have one of how to take a good picture. The main thing I'm concerned about is making sure that I can see all the work that you've done, that it's neatly organized, and that it's a good enough picture that I can read it, that there's contrast. So if there's a ton of shadows over your picture, maybe it's time to turn on flash on your phone or your camera or something like that. I will, of course, be grading on correct answer, but that's not as important, you'll notice, because you have the opportunity to do corrections in this class. And that's one of the things that you'll have the opportunity to do on Wednesdays, and we'll talk about that. Now, I recommend that you do the homework and the presentations one each day. However, I'm not going to count anything late as long as it's turned in by the end of the week. I know this is a lot of information. It's a longer video, so please put any questions you have in the comments below, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can regarding any of these topics. We're going to have a couple days to practice. Keep an eye on your email, especially for anything entitled comment. And if you're a little confused and you're not sure how to use your email very effectively, there's a video about using email and Google Calendar in the course materials that I strongly recommend all of you use. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.